Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Just thought I'd do a real quick one. Been spending the afternoon cleaning up my shed a bit, but I've got some couple of quick updates. I bought some new shocks for the Ute, so some Monroe GT Sport lowered shocks. So I'll get those put in as well as the springs, to see if we can open these up and have a quick look. See what we actually got. So what do we got? We've got the two shocks. There we are. Ready to go in, all the mounting hardware and pushers as well. So we'll get the Ute up and chuck those in, but also I've got springs. These are the Pedders springs that were already in it, but I've got the angle grinder on them and just lopped one coil off the top of them, and then just painted the ends of them red, so that it's less obvious that they're cut as well. And these you probably haven't seen before, but they're pretty filthy at the moment. But these were some HSV Pentagon rims that I've had in the shed for a while now, and painted gloss black ages ago. Need a clean, and then I'll probably look to sell these off just to clear a bit of space in the shed as well. Anyway, we'll get the car up on stands and get stuck into it. Just before we've got it up on axle stands now, but before we get into putting the new shocks in, you see it's pretty filthy under here. There's a bit of oil around the diff, and just general filth from 30 odd years of probably working as a Ute and never really being clean. So before we do anything, we'll just try and clean all this up a little bit with a bit of degreaser and a high pressure hose on the Karcher. I'll just get that done now, and then we'll come back to installing the shocks. I think I started last week's footage of just cleaning out under the back of the Ute, just to try and tidy it up before I put the springs and shockers back in. Got a little bit carried away with how much work we're doing, and decided whilst we've got things apart, we may as well tidy it up properly. So this morning I've just ripped off the tow bar, which is about, I think, 14 mil bolts to rip that off, plus just disconnecting the electrics for the trailer off of it as well, which was a few screws, and just dropped the rear section of the exhaust. I think they were two 15 mil bolts from memory as well, and it just gave the underside of the Ute another degrease and high pressure wash. So I think I've done that 4 times now, so probably got it as clean as I can to be able to put down some paint without actually getting in there and sanding it, which I'm not going to go to that extent. These ones here, a couple of side skirts that I bought years and years ago for the car. They're a single piece fiberglass side skirt. Never got around to putting them on or painting them, and think I've changed my mind that I don't actually want them anymore. So I've got those advertised for sale at the moment. If anyone's keen, they're on Facebook Marketplace, and looking for $100 odd bucks for them, or swap for some Statesman ones, which is ideally what I want, which are 2-piece or 3-piece ones on the side. Just got the spare wheel out there as well, so we've dropped the tow bar, the exhaust, the spare wheel, to try and get to as much of this underneath as we can, and my camera will pick it up. Sorry about the angles here. I'll give you a quick look at what it actually looks like after high pressure washing it. That there as well, tagged to say it's high performance oil only, so I think it must have either hardened gears in it or LSD or something. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll look into that. I think it's probably just hardened gears, so I'm not sure whether all the Utes have this or specific models, but anyway, that's probably a little bonus. And if I just scan around, you can see it's not too bad. No significant rust or anything. A little bit of surface rust and things like that. And I've decided to put down a bed liner under here, or underbody spray. So the Ranger stuff I've used in the tray before, which is a 2-pack one. So we'll do both wheel arches and all the underside here. Hopefully I'll have enough. I've got just under 2 litres of it, so hoping I can spray up to pretty much just where the tail shaft meets the diff there. That's as far as I've cleaned at the moment. Just while we're under here, point out a couple of things. So for those of you who don't know, the 3 bolts sitting up there, that's where your bump stops bolt onto. The cone in front of it is where the spring slots in. I'm going to have to replace some bushes because you can see, I don't know if you can see it up the back there, but there's a blue looking bush that's pretty worn out there. So if I'm doing that, I may as well replace most of the bushes because they're probably all pretty knackered, to be honest. What else we got on here? I've never actually seen this before, but I think that there might be something to adjust the brakes depending on your load. So it might adjust the brake bias depending how much you got in the ute tray, and that's there for the spare wheel which sits under here, and that holds it up, and then you wind it down or up on that cog there with a handle that plugs into it as well. Anyway, that's probably enough talking, guys, so I'll jump out and we'll start getting into it in a second. I'll show you a couple of quick things first. Just a really rough tape up job, because heaven forbid we don't want to mess up our 30-year-old paint and add any more marks on it. It's got enough already. And sorry about the compressor. I'll try and talk over that if I can. These are where the shocks bolt in, so there's 4 little screws that go into it, and those little covers go over the top, and then you can, oops, dropping the screws everywhere, and then you unbolt your shocks from the top. We just can't remember what it is, 14, 15 mil, 13 maybe, socket on top or a nut on top, and then 1 bolt down the bottom as well. So once I've painted under there, then we'll start putting the springs and the shocks back in as well. Anyway, that's definitely enough talking. Time to get the gun going and start spraying it up. So same as what we did in the under tray, the tub start, and this is the 2K stuff I'm using, Rangers protective coating, and all it is that bottle, and you're mixing the hardener, that salt, and shake it all up, put it in your gun and spray away. So let's get cracking. There we have it, after about, I reckon, 30 minutes to an hour's worth of painting, 2 coats of the stuff, we've got it done. So and then just left to dry for a day, and I've stuck in the new shocks. So they're Monroe GT lowered shock specifically for lowered cars, so hopefully they work a bit better than the Pedders ones that you might have seen in an early episode that were completely out and stuffed. I'll put the springs back in. Again, you might have seen on one of the episodes the Pedders spring, but I might have had a slip with an angle grinder and taken an extra coil off the top to get it a bit lower. So it's on both sides. I've just jacked the diff up now. The springs don't stay in tight at the height it is, so but I've just jacked the diff up to get the right height sorted, and the shocks are just in finger tight at the moment as well, until I get round to actually bolting it all up properly. You can see a little bit of red sticking out the bottom there, so the old shocks had olefin bushes in them, so I've stolen that bush to stick in there, and they're both in good conditions for both sides, so keeping them. Up the top, we've just got the rubber bushes that came with the shocks. So to get these on and off, it's just two 17mm bolts, one down the bottom, one up the top, and that's it. I need to clean up, if you can just see it on there, just I forget what they're called, but the rubber that the springs sit on, it's looking a bit old and dirty, so I'll clean those up just a bit with some gun wash, and just make them look a little bit nicer as well. But anyway, let's have a look at how the paint went. So she looks a fair bit different than what it did before. It looks, in fact, fucking awesome, excuse the French, compared to what I was. I'm really happy with that range's products. Super easy to apply, gets good coat, covers everything, and looks like it's brand new under here, as long as you don't look at the diff, the axles, the panhard rod, the control arms, and anything in front of the diff. But we'll get there one step at a time. So where to from here? It's a bloody good question. I'm having trouble keeping focused on just getting the car back on the road, because I get carried away with wanting it to look nice at the same time. But I'm going to try really hard to get focused on just getting it back on the road. So I think the next main step is getting that petrol tank back in, with the new fuel pump in it, and seeing if we can get that actually started, then give it a service, change all the fluids, and the brakes all around are certainly looking worse for wear. You can pick that up. They've got a nice ridge on them, completely worn. I could drive on them, but before I get on the road I'll fix those up as well. Then we'll need some tyres and things, and we'll get it going again. Hot tip, when you're spraying this stuff under the car, don't wear your Apple Watch, because I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but see if I can get the right angle here. You probably can't see it. It's now got a nice textured finish, the same as this on my watch, so hopefully that'll wear off. Otherwise I'll use some gun wash and clean it off as well. And also the driveway's now got a nice non-slip surface to it. Anyway guys, call that it for the episode. Thanks for tuning in again. Share it around, give us a comment, like, encourage some people to subscribe. That'd be much appreciated. See if I can keep the momentum up on getting this car back on the road. Take it easy. Cheers.